Hi everybody, this is Ravi Nallapreddy from Precision Academy. Today I am going to talk about Indo-China trade relations, specifically about Chinese products in India. Just let's go to the news. Very sensational ban on Chinese everything. So are we going to ban everything, all the imports, all the apps, everything? So Union Minister Ramdas Athwale asked people to boycott Chinese food and restaurants, and that lot of funny responses have come for that in the social media. So why? So I am reading here one response in social media. Chinese food should be banned. Why? What is Chinese about Chinese food? For example, if you take gobi Manchuria, so gobi is Indian. The every spice that we add in it is Indian, and the cooks are Indian. Then what is Chinese in this Chinese food? So and there is some extreme statement like this, people are responding like that, but most of the forwards which are becoming viral are like talking about using Chinese apps, Chinese products, and that is unpatriotic. That's what these messages are talking about. And even in some of the ministries are making moves, like newspapers are talking about, these are the headlines in newspapers: telecom ministry orders BSNL, MTNL and private companies to ban all Chinese deals and equipments. So railways cancels 471 crore contract with Chinese firm. So they quoted about like poor progress for that. A new e-commerce policy to curb Chinese imports. So many news headlines we are seeing now in the past 4 or 5 days, talking about the possibility of curtailing, banning the Chinese imports. Is it really feasible to ban? So let me try to go into the big picture, understand the trade between these two countries, and then in the last slide I will be giving you the opinions of experts and also my personal opinion on the possibility or the feasibility, or shall we do it. So explained why China trade ban is a bad idea. Indian Express: stopping China imports may hurt India's edge. Exports: telcos, pharma companies. So we have edge in exports, especially telecommunication, pharma, that will be affected if we ban Chinese imports. That's the news coverage in Indian Express. And boycott China unrealistic. India can only cut 30% Chinese imports. Outlook India: boycott China unrealistic. So these are different headlines in newspapers which says boycotting is not feasible. So let's go into the details. China is Asia's largest economy and the world's second biggest, and India is number 3 in Asia. So China is really strong. From supplying industrial equipments and raw materials to investments in India, India's startups and technology firms, China is India's biggest trading partner after US. So for India, China is really important. After US, it is China which is the biggest trading partner. For China, it is not India. So we are dependent on China more than China is dependent on us for trade. When it comes to trade deficit, China accounted for 5% of India's total exports in 1920 and more than 14% of imports. So it means what? We are exporting 5% to China, importing 14% from them, which means big gap, huge trade deficit. So India's imports from China jumped 45 times since 2000. After 2000, 45 times, that is phenomenal increase. So it reached $70 billion in 2018-19. $70 billion, that is the imports that we have from China. So let's go into the details of imports. So what are we importing? Smartphones, electrical appliances, power plant inputs, fertilizers, auto components, finished steel products, capital goods like power plants, telecom equipment, metro rail coaches, iron and steel products, pharmaceutical ingredients, chemicals and plastics, engineering goods. So as per Ministry of Commerce, these are all what we are importing mainly from China. And then coming to brands, which so in the last slides I was talking about the imports which are not having brands, or we don't see them because they will become part of other brands, or they will become part of raw material to some other industry. So here we are seeing the brands like smartphones, Xiaomi, Vivo, Oppo, 72% share. TikTok, so everybody is sending forwards to us in WhatsApp saying that don't use TikTok, as if that is the only app. That's not the only app. So it has definitely huge following in India. India saw 165% increase in app downloads between 16 and 18. Half of this downloads on both iOS and Google Play Store are apps with Chinese investments. So 100% Chinese are apps with Chinese investments. They include UC Browser, ShareIt, Vivo, Video, Lenovo. Laptops are also there, not just apps, and then Lenovo, everything. So it's a big brand. So not just these, there are so many apps. You can see here, you might be using at least one of these apps, and there are hundreds of apps which are from China or with Chinese investments. And when we talk about imports, they are not just for consumption purpose. Some of the imports are for the sake of exports. India's pharmaceutical industry is the third largest in the world, so by volume, and ranks 14th in value. So it exported 14 billion to US, the medicines worth over 14 millions in 2018-19. So India imports 2/3 of its pharmaceutical ingredients. If we ban these pharmaceutical or bulk drugs from China, so we will have problem in exports. So it's not all imports are not for consumption. So some of these imports are used by our industries to export. So a key ingredients of drugs from pharma. FDIs, this is another area which we generally ignore, that is foreign direct investments from China are happening in India in metallurgical industries, renewable energy like solar panels, electrical equipment, automotives and chemicals. So 4.14 billion foreign direct investment has come from China. China's Commerce Ministry says it's actually $8 billion. So it may not be directly invested in, these are the direct investments from China. Sometimes Chinese companies route it through some other countries. For example, Alibaba Group's investment in Paytm came via Alibaba Singapore Holding Private Limited. So these don't get recorded in India's government data or Chinese investments. Okay. So all the big brands, you can't imagine without these brands in all these industries. Some of them are market leaders like Flipkart, Byju's, Big Basket, Make My Trip, Ola, Oyo, Paytm, Quikr, Snapdeal. All these have Chinese investments. I am not saying they are owned by China 100%. I am saying they all have Chinese investments. So China is present everywhere. Understand this. Why we can't compete? So I hear people saying we can easily defeat China, we can't wait for all that kinds of stuff. But why they are strong? Because they have cheap labor. So especially we can't compete in manufacturing sector with China because their labor is cheap, raw materials are cheap, they have efficient business ecosystems, and then business loans are easily accessible, and also unfortunately they have lower compliance with health, safety regulations and environmental protection laws. So it even makes the cost of production less. And here is the comparison between these two countries. GDP, nominal GDP, PPP based, purchase power parity, that is PPP. So in nominal GDP it is $14 trillion. India has 3.2. So it is more than 4 times bigger than India. So on PPP also 27 trillion, here it is 11 trillion. GDP rank wise, world number 2, in nominal we are 5, and PPP wise it is number 1 economy in the world. China is number 1. Per capita, if you take per capita, it is $10,000 per capita income nominal terms and $19,000 in PPP. So but India is only having 2,300. So India is a poor country when compared to China. Indian people are 5 times poorer. That is the difference between these two countries. Total exports, if you take total exports, India has 330 billion exports and China has 2.59 trillion exports. So for China, India is not significant. For India, China is really significant in its exports, imports. It gets more affected so than China. If there is any alteration in the trade, so India is going to be affected more than China. So my take, what we should do? The call should be, let's develop our own domestic industry and compete naturally. That's what I say. So we need to compete naturally. So we have to allow imports, but we should make sure that our domestic industry competes with this foreign competition. We can't like close the doors. So that defeats the purpose of the reforms. So we have to be open, but at the same time our industry should become more competitive globally. If a particular industry matures and is able to meet demand, import substitution will automatically happen. It is not forceful support to them, then we are supporting inefficiency. We should not support inefficiency and we should not support costly systems or products. So we have to make these products globally competitive so that they will compete in the world market with China. So the import substitution will automatically happen. There is an example for you, Last year India has imported 33% lesser cellular phones from China. So, it is maturing, it is developing, and then we are producing our own products which are competing with Chinese products. And one big thing which is very glaring is, why should we have all these TikToks or so many apps? So, why should we have all these Chinese apps? So, generally we think China produces cheap manufacturing items, India is a world leader in technology. We are supplying people to all countries for years and years and for decades. We are not developing any products, any apps. That is very unfortunate. So, I went to America in 1999. So, by that time my friends were already there. That means from 1990 to 2020. What are we doing? Our companies are supplying people body shopping. Why can't they develop apps which can compete with Chinese apps like Infosys? We have Infosys, we have Wipro, we have TCS. What are they doing? So, they must develop an alternative to TikTok, alternative to every app they have. They can do it within a month. So, just each app spare 10 millions, develop. So, if they have to create a new app, brand new with concept, it is difficult. But if you see an app, if you produce similar app, it does not take much time. So, have Indian apps. These big companies should have an alternative to all the apps. So, why can't they do that? That is very unfortunate. They are not developing apps. So, which is possible? We can easily do that. We can't replace all the manufacturing items, but this IT based stuff we can easily do that. Investments from any country is not just about money. We need to understand this. It is not just about money. Along with money, those who spend who invest money will make sure that that particular investment will give good returns. That means they will give their technology, they will give their management, expertise, best practices, knowledge transfer, everything will happen. That we need to take into account. So, we need foreign direct investments to make it more competitive. And one more thing we need to understand is, Belt and Road projects are there in Pakistan, Chinese initiative. So, they have presence in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar. So, it encircles India. India is encircled by China. We do not have presence around China in all directions, but China has their presence. So, they are slowly building up their military presence, their business presence, their influence even in Nepal. Nepal will do whatever China asks them to do, though it is a only Hindu country in the world, but they are more close to China. So, they will not hurt us. One more thing, my observation is, we are safe. China is not going to have war with us, mainly because they have big trade surplus with us. If they hurt us, if they wage a war with us, they are the losers, because they will lose their 70 billion exports to India. So, economically they will try to protect this market. This is a market for them. As long as we are their market, they will not attack us. That is one way of saving our country from China. We have to be like that for 10-20 years and then build our country and make it so strong industrially and economically. Then we can fight with them. Aggressive rhetoric is not the prescribed way. That is my opinion, and opinion of Nirupama Rao also. So, we have to deploy our diplomatic assets. There are some diplomatic assets, means like we have some influence with US and then European Union Japan. We have to make use of all that, Russia. So we have that. So we will be knowing so many people, but if we don't use them forever, what is the use of having all those contacts? Similarly, these are called diplomatic assets. We have to use them in a deft way that follows the maneuverability and nimbleness. Then only we can handle this. Now, Nirupama Rao, what did she say? She is a brilliant person she was selected for IFS in 1973, and she served as ambassador to China and US, and she was foreign secretary. She is an expert. What she says I will tell here, which will give you a right perspective how we should look at all these political and trade issues that we are having now with China. Sober, studied and calibrated diplomacy. Sober, studied and calibrated diplomacy is always the recommended action of first resort. So we should have calibrated diplomacy. So diplomacy is as ancient a profession as war. Even in Mahabharata, we have a lot of diplomatic activity. Even Lord Krishna goes as ambassador and then he talks. So with Kauravas on behalf of Pandavas. So it's a diplomacy thing. It may fail, but you have to use diplomacy. It's as ancient a profession as war. It wins over the battlefield. So it is battlefield is not the only alternative. It builds a more secure future than conflict does. Conflict need not create secure future. Conflict may lead to another conflict. The public debate cannot drive diplomacy or our response. Very clear. Public debates, whatever we say in TV debates or WhatsApp, this cannot drive diplomacy or our response. Thank you very much for joining. I suggest that you subscribe to Precision YouTube channel and click the bell symbol so that you will see the other notifications whenever every day, almost every day I will be releasing some video or the other based on current affairs or on the subjects. So if anybody of you is interested in test series or any other services from Precision, you can call 810101405060. If you want mentorship, I do one-to-one mentorship, but you can't call me, but you can only send WhatsApp message. The last number is 85. So if whenever I am free, I will give a call back or I will chat with you for any doubts or if you want guidance or mentorship. Thank you very much for joining. We'll meet again with some other topic. Till such time, bye bye.